Part 23. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 225. Fine. Since you sincerely request to be my little maid, then I will reluctantly agree. It saves you the test. As for what to do, your sisters will teach you well. Qin Changsheng said with a smile when he heard that Yaokai Saint Chang Guan Shishi once again proved his identity as Yaokai Saint and even offered to be a maid. Although he has not yet figured out what went wrong, so that the system did not determine that this robbery was successful. However, as long as the identity of Shang Guan Shishi, the saint of Yaokai, was correct, Qin Changsheng would not panic. It would be over when the cause was found and solved. He did not believe that there was any problem. Can be more difficult than Xiaomi Li's cheating plan. You can't say anything, and you can't give any hints. You still succeeded in cheating. What's more, it's Shang Guan Shishi, the saint of Yaokai. There is no problem with identity. How big of a problem should it be? None of it is a problem. Yes, young master, you are the uncle, you are the most distinguished. After hearing Qin Changsheng's words, the Yaokai saint's big eyes almost rolled to the sky. Although I really admit defeat, I can't beat you after all. But what you said these few words has nothing to do with this girl. I'm rushing up, as if I want to be your little maid. Haven't you forced me to be like this? You really can't be too shameless as a human being. As for the people watching below, one by one, they shook their heads and smiled bitterly. Hearts are broken into pieces. When the Yaokai Saint Chang Guan Shishi appeared, they were shocked and fascinated, and said that the murderer of the piano demon would finally be solved. Who would have thought, the final situation, it will develop like this? The Qin demon killing god has not been solved, and the Yaokai Saint has also got involved. Young master, please stop bullying fairy Yaokai. It's just that, master, you are so bad, you just like to tease us. Sister Yaokai Saint, don't be afraid, this guy is really good. You have also seen the mountains of heavenly materials, earthly treasures, spiritual stones and pills in Linglong Immortal Mansion. Although the young master snatched those things, he never used them himself. They were all prepared for us saints. Yes, fairy Yaokai, if you want to play outside, just play outside with him. If you want to practice in seclusion, you can practice in seclusion with the dozen or so sisters in the Linglong Immortal Mansion, in the small lake of spiritual liquid, and enjoy all kinds of resources at will. Yes, big sister, my brother is really good. 4 girls, Lu Ruyan and Mo Ran, flew over with millet grains and rescued the Yaokai Saint. Ah, can this really happen? I just heard what you said, and I thought you were controlled by him, or forced by him to say that. The saint of Yaokai, Shang Guan Shishi, was really stunned. Just now, when Lu Ruyan and the other 4 girls thought that Qin Changsheng was no match for Shang Guan Shishi, they went to explain to Qin Changsheng like this. But in Shang Guan Shishi's view, how could such a good thing happen in heaven and earth? This guy went around looting holy places and plundering saints. He didn't use the cultivation resources, but gave them to the saints who were robbed. He didn't worry, those saints were cultivating hard. Will you surpass him one day and kill him? Even if you are not worried, most people are not willing to do this. Even the core disciples of the Zongmen Holy Land, there are limits on the use of the resources of the Zongmen Holy Land. But now, I having been defeated, there was no need for these women to tell lies anymore. But, this truth really made Shang Guan Shishi unable to react for a while. Of course everything we say is true. This bad guy has never forced us to do anything, and it's true. Moreover, the young master even prepared the king-level elixirs he refined for us. Lu Ruyan, the 4 girls, confirmed again. If I had known this, then why would I have fought? I just need king-level elixirs, so I want to snatch him away and give him to me to make elixirs. If I had known earlier that I could get king-level elixirs by being a little maid, maybe I would have been willing. Shang Guanshishi said, somewhat dumbfounded. Of course, she was just talking. She can't beat him, I have no choice but to let that guy be the master and be the little maid myself. If I can beat myself, it must be the other way around. But below, Shang Guanshishi's admirers collapsed even more when they heard Shang Guanshishi's words. It's over. My goddess will probably be killed by that guy's king-level elixir. Captured. When the time comes, they will fall in love for a long time, and their hearts will be moved. The consequences will be really unimaginable. When they think that fairy Yaokai, who has amazed them for the rest of their lives, may be harmed by that guy in the future, it's so heartbreaking. Look at that guy. Besides the Yaokai saint, there are 4 stunning saints who are all over the country, and it is said that there are more than a dozen in the small world, which makes them want to explode on the spot even more. This guy is simply the public enemy of men, the terminator of the saint. Okay. You can learn from each other and discuss how to be a little maid in the future. The first thing to do now is to pack up all the things in Yuntian Holy Land and move them into Linglong Immortal Mansion. There is also that spiritual vein, although it is worse than the one in our Linglong Immortal Mansion, but we should find a way to dig it out. As for Suandan Holy Land, their performance is pretty good, and for Yan Ran's sake, let them go. Qin Changshen interrupted the conversation of the 5 stunning women and gave instructions. Everyone below heard Qin Changshen's words and just wanted to cover their faces. The Qin demon killing god is the Qin demon killing god? 2 things, plundering the saint. Plundering the Holy Land. They don't know whether to say that Yuntian Holy Land is too unlucky and unable to make choices. Or should they say that Suandan Holy Land is so lucky, that they actually escaped. The 3 sects Holy Lands in this area, the Thousand Array Demon sect, are destroyed, and the Yuntian Holy Land, is also doomed. From now on, the Suandan Holy Land will definitely be the only one left. In the wilderness, I'm afraid there will be no one left. They will all be controlled by Suandan Holy Land. But who of them dares to say no? The 2 strongest people present. One is the Qin demon killer god Qin Changsheng. The other is the Yaokai saint Shang Guanshishi. And Shang Guanxi, after she became his little maid, she was already standing in the same boat with her. Especially after hearing that she used the things she snatched to practice casually. When Qin Changsheng said about emptying the Yuntian Holy Land, she had a pair of beautiful eyes. There was actually a look of expectation in the middle. Everyone suddenly had a bad premonition. Their goddess was about to be demonized after boarding Qin Changshen's ship. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 226. It is quite easy to collect the loot from Yuntian Holy Land. Whether they are disciples of Yuntian Holy Land or Suandan Holy Land, they all have to work as porters. Under the supervision of Lu Ruyan and others, not long after, a few hills of heavenly materials, earthly treasures, spiritual stones, pills, etc. were placed in front of Qin Changsheng. With a wave of his hand, Qin Changsheng directly took all these things into Linglong Immortal Mansion and put them together with the mountains of resources inside. Everyone watching the scene is so greedy. Although they didn't know how much loot Qin Changsheng had gained along the way. But the number that shocked the Holy Maiden of Yaokai just now is definitely exaggerated. Besides, let's not talk about that. Qin Changsheng confiscated the trophies from the Qianzhen demon sect and Yuntian Holy Land alone while they watched helplessly. It's just that when he captured the Qianzhen demon sect, this Qin demon killing god still wore a black robe and showed himself as a king-level alchemist. If the leader of the Qianzhen demon sect was still alive, and knew what Qin Changsheng was like and what he had done, he would probably regret it. Why, Should such a guy who specializes in robbery be invited to the Dao sect? Isn't this courting death? No wonder, this guy was so skillful when collecting the loot. The spiritual veins are coming, the spiritual veins are coming. Just when everyone was envious and jealous, the voice of Yaokai Saint Changguan Shishi suddenly came out. Everyone looked at the sound and were even more dumbfounded. I saw this girl, with Taoist rhymes flowing around her body, and a Taoist condensed word appeared in her hand. A huge palm. And on top of that palm, there is something like a small mountain range dozens of miles long. But this thing is crystal clear, and the whole body is filled with spiritual energy. It is just a spiritual vein. No need. Said. This is the spiritual vein of Yuntian Holy Land, which has been dug out. Qin Changsheng just said that the spiritual vein must be dug out, and everyone was very upset. Should the robbery be so thorough? They dug the ground 3 times. Qi, you have been digging for tens of miles. Now that they see the spiritual veins being dug out, the thoughts in everyone's hearts cannot be described in words. And what makes everyone collapse the most is, digging out this spiritual veins. The person with the pulse is the Yaokai Saint Changguan Shishi. Just now they were worried, that their goddess, after staying with the Qin demon killing god for a long time, would be led astray by this demon and assimilated. Unexpectedly, how young is this Yaokai saint already shows signs of demonization. When you look at her holding her spiritual veins, her sparkling eyes are full of excitement and enthusiasm. What a surprise! Qin Changsheng was actually a little confused at this time. Looking at Yaokai Saint Changguan Shishi, Qin Changsheng really couldn't imagine that this figure was the same person as the previous one, who was as holy and pure as the 9 heavens goddess. This girl gets started faster than Lu Ruyan and the others. She was carved from the same mold as the previous little witch Murong Fei. He has an innate talent for robbery. Of course, Qin Changsheng is still happy to enjoy this result. Although I haven't received the experience pack yet, it would be nice to have a robbery assistant. An hour later, all the loot was collected. Qin Changsheng and a group of 5 women left in the flying palace. Everyone below looked at the rumored iconic flying palace of the Qin demon killing god, and it suddenly seemed like a dream. When they learned about this rumor, I still thought that if I saw this flying palace, I must go to Yuntian Holy Land to report it and receive the reward. Because when Holy Lord Yuntian learned that the territory under his command had been looted, he immediately issued a pursuit order, and anyone who could provide information would receive a large reward. But now, everyone finally sees this flying palace. Holy Lord Yuntian is already dead. Even Yuntian Holy Land is gone. Young master, where should we go next? Continue to loot the Holy Land. On the flying palace, Shangguan Shishi said excitedly. There are only 0 and countless robberies. She is indeed addicted. Although she and Qin Changsheng were enemies before, the main reason was, she just wanted to coerce Qin Changsheng to make elixirs for him. She really didn't have that much thought to care about Qin Changsheng's looting of the Holy Land and the plundering of saints. Not to mention that now, she herself is Qin Changsheng's little maid. He didn't think there was anything wrong with looting the Holy Land, but he was thinking about going to the next one. Qin Changsheng glanced at Shangguan Shishi, and his beautiful face was full of hope, which made him laugh. What a Yaokai saint! Girl! I really don't know how she got in there. This girl is more suitable for the demon sect, right? Well, let's go to Fei Yangqing City for the next battle. Naturally, we can grab the Holy Land on this road. If you are interested, you can plan a route. Qin Changsheng waved his hand and said. In fact, according to Qin Changsheng's idea, his goal is to first find Muruoxi, the leader of the Red Demon section. After all, she is his woman, and she is also Murong Fei's master and Lu Ruyan's apprentice. But what left Qin Changsheng speechless was that he was obviously walking in the direction where Muruoxi was in the sense. But after walking so far, he still felt that he was very far away from Muruoxi's position, and he didn't know. What on earth had she gone through? How could she appear so far away? But no matter what, Qin Changsheng would naturally find her. But Qin Changsheng couldn't be idle while on the road. Feiyang Royal City happened to be right there that direction, so Qin Changsheng plans to go there. As for how to plan the route in the middle, it doesn't hurt to leave it to Shangguan Shishi. As long as it doesn't deviate too much from the route, there won't be much of a problem. Another point is about the Saint of Yuntian. Although it's okay to leave it to Shangguan Shishi. The entire Yuntian Holy Land was turned upside down, and even the spiritual veins were dug out, but Saint Yuntian was still not found. Later, after Qin Changsheng inquired, he learned that Saint Yuntian and Saint Sun Yuntian, she just went to Feiyang Royal City. The Holy Land had been looted, and the saint couldn't let it go. Therefore, Qin Changsheng had to go to Feiyang City. He just didn't know that this mysterious saint of Yuntian, after learning that the Holy Land of Yuntian was how wonderful the expression will be when it's gone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I Robbed Millions of Saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 227. Yeah. I will plan the route, I will definitely satisfy the young master. The treasures of heaven and earth will be piled up in piles, and the saints will be as beautiful as gods. When Qin Changsheng asked her to plan the route, Yaokai Saint Shangguan Shishi's eyes suddenly lit up and she said excitedly. Then, she took out the map of the Eastern Barren Continent and started planning. This demon sect doesn't even have a king-level expert in the Yunhai realm. If you don't want to go, you won't go. This holy land is great. Not only does it have king-level experts in the Yunhai realm, it also has a spiritual vein inside that can be dug out. This saintess of the Four Seas demon sect is famous far and wide. It is said that she is very beautiful and has an incomparable unique beauty. Bad guy, young master will definitely like it very much. Moreover, this sect is so cruel that it can be destroyed directly. And this spiritual crystal holy land, the Holy Master is a king-level powerhouse of the third level of Yunhai realm. He is one of the best among the surrounding sect holy lands. His foundation is also extremely deep. There must be many heavenly materials and earthly treasures that can be used to refine king-level elixirs. Shangguan Shishi was planning and selecting. Qin Changsheng, Lu Ruyan, and others on the side were dumbfounded. This girl was born to rob. A few hours later, the flying palace stopped in front of a mountain gate called the Four Seas Demon Sect. This was the first sect selected on the route planned by Shangguan Shishi. The reason for selection is that this holy girl of the Four Seas Demon Sect is famous far and wide. Who is coming? As soon as the flying palace stopped, the mountain gate of the Four Seas Demon Sect and the protective formation were opened, and several figures with demonic energy came out of it and shouted. The one who comes, my young master Qin Changsheng. Robbery, hand over all your heavenly, material, and earthly treasures, as well as the saint. The saint of Yaokai, Shangguan Shishijiao, shouted and slapped her with a Taoist palm print. Bang 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 bang. The four voices roaring with demonic energy, before they could even realize what was going on, were directly slapped to death by this Yun palm print. Before they died, they seemed to finally hear it. The last two words were robbery, and then, they were filled with doubts and unwillingness. Robbery. Are you kidding me? Don't you know what our Four Seas Demon Sect's establishment of a sect is? Within the Four Seas, wherever my Four Seas Demon Sect goes, it is the demon soil of my Four Seas Demon Sect. People, we can kill them if we want. We can take the treasures of heaven and earth whenever we want. We will destroy the holy lands of sects with lower strength than us if we want. We are the ones who started by burning, killing and looting, okay. They actually robbed us, Do you know that our sect master is a powerful Yunhai realm king? Of course, the doubts were fleeting. Death soon came, and all that was left in their hearts was reluctance. When we rob, we give others time to take a breath to prepare. When you rob, you kill people as soon as you start. Isn't that too cruel? On the flying palace, Qin Changsheng was sitting in front of the railing, drinking tea. Lu Ruyan and Amo Ran were waiting on the left and right. Seeing this scene, Qin Changsheng also took a sip of spiritual tea and almost spit it out. This girl's robbery aura is simply too strong. Lu Ruyan and Amo Ran were both speechless in their beautiful eyes. But what made them even more speechless was what came next. After slapping these 4 disciples of the Sihai demon sect to death with their demonic aura, Shangguan Shishi had no intention of stopping. Taking advantage of the moment before the mountain guarding formation behind him closed, her graceful figure, stepping on the golden lotus with blossoming Dao patterns, has rushed directly into the 4 Seas demon sect. People from the Sihai demon sect, listen to me. Good and evil will be rewarded in the end. Don't ask about how many reincarnations there are in the world. This girl is here to rob me on the orders of my young master, Qin Changsheng. Your retribution has arrived. Within the Sihai demon sect, Shangguan Shishi's fierce voice came from the house. Then, the power of various laws soared into the sky, and the brilliance of various combat skills flew all over the sky. Puff. This time, Qin Changsheng really couldn't hold back and spit out the spiritual tea in his mouth. Is this Shangguan Shishi really the saint of Yaokai? Why do I feel that this girl really loves robbery from the bottom of her heart, and she can't pick up the business skills too quickly? What left Qin Changsheng speechless the most was, why did this little girl like to bite the bullet so much? Every time it seems to be preceded by a saying or an old saying. Then, he started to play Qin Changsheng's signature. Qin Changsheng seriously suspected that the Yaokai saint had always been a little devil in her heart, but because of her identity as the Yaokai saint, her demonic nature was sealed. Now, with Qin Changsheng's name as an introduction, this little devil's demonic nature was unleashed unscrupulously. Why do I feel, this Yaokai saint Shangguan Shishi has a feeling that is very familiar to me? Are you not familiar with this? This is a female version of a bad boy. Lu Ruyan and Amo Ran said to Qin Changsheng, one on the left and the other on the right. Qin Changsheng was stunned for a while when he heard this. He wanted to refute, but when he thought about it carefully, it was really true that he was still riding a horse. Isn't this just a person? The female version of myself, she usually looks calm and relaxed. When robbing, she is unscrupulous and flamboyant. A stick of incense later. In the 4 Seas demon sect, the raging power of laws and the brilliance of various combat skills finally stopped restraining, everything returned to calm, and the mountain protection formation of the 4 Seas demon sect was completely opened. The graceful figure of the Yaokai saint Shangguan Shishi appeared in front of Qin Changsheng. Behind her, was the beaten, shattered, and devastated remains of the sect. That's right, it's broken. In the entire Sihai demon sect, the mountain peaks were broken, the palaces collapsed, and there was almost no intact place left. All kinds of corpses and remnants of soldiers were piled up into hills. Especially in the central hall of the 4 Seas demon section. You can clearly see that a strong man of the Yunhai realm king level is still standing there upright, with grief, anger and unwillingness on his face, but he has made no sound. Needless to say, he should be the master of the 4 Seas demon sect. Of course, there are still some living people who are carrying various spiritual stones, pills, heavenly materials, and earthly treasures in the broken mountain gate. But judging from the clothes of those people, they should be the servants of the 4 Seas demon sect, among the prisoners. Flow. Young master, the little maid has lived up to her mission and has completely captured the Sihai demon section. Please accept it, young master. Shangguan Shishi said cheerfully, with a proud look on his face. Qin Chang Sheng. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 228. Young Master, fortunately, the little maid has lived up to her mission and has completely captured the Sci-fi demon section. Please accept it, young master. Listening to Shang Guanshishi's words, Qin Changsheng was speechless for a moment and didn't know how to pick it up. For the first time, Qin Changsheng discovered that the little maid, in addition to making experience packs for himself, did various things. In addition to practicing hard to gain experience for yourself, there is another use. That is to rob for yourself. This time, Qin Changsheng of the Sci-fi demon sect didn't even lift a finger. No, he didn't even speak. Without saying a word, I asked the holy maiden of Yaokai to do the whole process. I just drank tea at the gate of the mountain and took down a sect's holy land. It's not too comfortable, it's not too easy. If we really have an army of millions of saints in the future, and then they all automatically rob like the saint of Yaokai. Doesn't it mean that I don't have to do anything, just sit at home and wait for the loot and experience packs to be delivered to my door? This also, it's so easy. And the speed at which you gain experience will be terrifying. Of course, the premise of everything is that your little maid must be strong enough. Just like the Saint of Yaokai, the 5th level of Yunhai realm, a king-level powerhouse, took action, and the ordinary sect's holy land was like eating and drinking water. This incident also made Qin Changsheng's idea of establishing a force even more urgent. He even began to consider whether it would be possible in the future. There is no need to be obsessed with the saint. If there are some sect leaders and elders in the sect's holy land who are also very powerful, you can also consider subduing them. Although it is not an experience pack, you can get more experience packs for yourself. When the time comes, Qin Changsheng waves his hand, and the army of saints sweeps across all directions, bringing with them various trophies and experience packs. You just have to eat them. Of course, the prerequisite for conquering is that the other party must be a woman. And she is a good-looking woman. Otherwise, there would not be much need for Qin Changsheng. Where is the saint from the Four Seas demon sect? Thinking of this, Qin Changsheng suddenly thought of the important point. Why haven't he seen his experience package yet? Didn't he say that the saint of the Four Seas demon sect was famous for her beauty, and she was a super beauty with a beauty that brought disaster to others? This. Reporting back to the young master, according to the information I asked, it seems that the saint of the Four Seas has also gone to Feiyang Royal City. It is said that there was a grand gathering for the exchange of saints and saints there recently, and the most talented saints and saints in the Feiyang kingdom were to be selected. The saint of Yaokai said helplessly. Qin Changsheng was also a little speechless when he heard this. Why do these saints and saints of the sect's holy land like to do this kind of thing? If you have nothing to do, just go to a party and show off. All kinds of showing off? This is the case in the Gilded Domain, and it is the same here. But the difference is, the Gilded Domain is a summit held once every 10 years, and the sect master and the Holy Lord will also participate. Here, it seems to be the Holy Son and Saint women are participating. Of course, although Qin Changsheng is speechless about this kind of thing, he loves it very much. What a party! The saints and saints from all your major sects' holy places gather together, whether it's to show off or show off. Whatever, I don't care. What I care about is, so many experience packages are gathered together, it's so easy to eat them. Half an hour later. All kinds of trophies from the entire Four Seas demon sect, they all also entered the Linglong Immortal Mansion. Qin Changsheng, a few girls, and Xiaomi Lier, took the flying palace and continued to rush to the next target. Feiyu Holy Land is a holy land that is particularly fond of raising flying monsters and spiritual beasts. The mountain gate of the entire holy land also looks like a rock with wings spread. On this day, in front of the mountain gate of Fi'u Holy Land, one by one, disciples of Fi'u Holy Land were riding their own flying monsters to hold a flight competition involving 10,000 people. A magnificent palace slowly floated from the sky and flew directly into the mountain gate of Fi'u Holy Land. Everyone in Fi'u Holy Land, I'm sorry to disturb you. Although your Fi'u Holy Land has a good reputation, this is a jungle world where the strong are respected and the weak eat the strong. In the dark, there is a certain destiny. So, I'm sorry to tell you. Your destiny has arrived. My young master, Qin Changsheng, has two major hobbies in his life, looting holy places and plundering saints. Walking step by step from the gilded realm in the wilderness, all the lands we pass are the territory of my young master. Today, it's your turn for Fi'u Holy Land. Of course, I am relatively easy to talk to. I know that your saint has gone to Fi'u Yangqing City, and you only need to kneel down and surrender, hand over all the spiritual stones, elixirs, heavenly materials, and earthly treasures. I can keep yours inherited. Yaokai Saint Changguan Shishi, Qin Changshen's spokesman for the robbery, was the first to rush out and speak. Qin Changshen was speechless in the flying palace. This girl is still so articulate. She is still the same. I like to use my own brand and vent my witch attributes. What does it mean to have a destiny? What are my two major hobbies in life, plundering saints and looting holy places? Why don't you talk about my three major hobbies in life? Smoking, drinking, perming your hair. And the entire Fi'u Holy Land. From the Holy Lord of Fi'u Holy Land, a woman who is as noble as a white swan wearing a rosy holy robe made of colorful feathers. Down to many the disciples of the mountain sect who had just started and didn't even have monster mounts were all dumbfounded. Qin Changsheng ransacked the Holy Land and robbed the saint? And we knelt down and surrendered, handing over all the heavenly materials and earthly treasures, spiritual stones and elixirs? This how come these people appeared out of nowhere and spoke in such loud tones? Of course, their huge Fi'u Holy Land would not be frightened by Shangguan Shishi's few words. But the next moment. The moment Shangguan Shishi's 500-mile radius King's Realm barrier was released, everyone in the Fi'u Holy Land fell to their knees. It wasn't that they transformed quickly. It was the Yunhai realm. The inexplicable pressure coming from the boundary of the King's Realm of the fifth heaven was too much for them to bear, and they had to kneel down. After a few more breaths, Shangguan Shishi's whole body was holding the holy fire-glazed lamp in his hand. Appeared directly on top of Holy Lord Fi'u. Holy Lord Fi'u, who was as proud as a white swan, also, knelt down with a bitter look on his face. She had already seen the gap between herself and Shangguan Shishi. It's not even a star. However, this is not the scariest thing. What makes the entire Fi'u Holy Land panic the most is this woman claims to be a little maid. A little maid, she is from the fifth level of Yunhai realm. He is a king-level warrior who defies heaven, and he holds a king-level weapon. Then what a terrifying existence the young master she calls Qin Changshen will be. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 229. What happens next is relatively simple. Under the suppression of Yaokai Saint Shangguan Shishi's realm, the people of Fi'u Holy Land had no disobedience at all. After all, Shangguan Shishi had said before that as long as they cooperated obediently and handed over the sect's treasures, spiritual stones, elixirs, etc., their inheritance could be left behind. Although the heritage has been passed down for tens of thousands of years, the number is so vast that it makes them feel sick. But it's better than directly destroying the sect and ending the inheritance. However, there is one thing that no one in Fi'u Holy Land expected. That was Holy Master Fi'u, Sci-fi Fei was finally taken away by Qin Changsheng. Qin Changsheng had begun to consider whether he should form a force in the future to plunder saints and loot holy places for himself. Seeing the Fi'u Saint Master Xiaofi Fei who was as proud as a white swan, Qin Changshen's idea suddenly came to his mind. Xiaofi Fei, the Holy Master of Fi'u, is a king-level expert at the second level of Yunhai realm, and her cultivation level is already pretty good. The most important thing is, Xiaofi Fei is well versed in the art of controlling beasts, especially flying monsters and spirit beasts. She has her own unique method, so she is definitely a good candidate. What Qin Changshen never expected was, how much impact his impromptu idea would have on the world. In the tens of thousands of years that followed, a force called Fi'u Legion under the command of an immortal sun left an indelible mark on the entire eastern wilderness continent. Wherever the Fi'u Legion passed, everyone worshipped and called the Changshen young master by his name. It was simply not too much. Fi'u Holy Land, in front of the mountain gate. Looking at the direction of the flying palace leaving. The entire elder disciples of Fi'u Holy Land looked messy. What is this? We are happily holding the annual flight competition here. Suddenly a few people pop up and want to rob. Not only did they hollow out our 10,000-year heritage, but also took away the sect leader of our family. And according to that, he still wants to go to Fi'u Yangqing City to plunder our saint. Who are we provoking? On the flying palace. Qin Changshen was holding millet grains in his arms and drinking tea leisurely. Four girls, Lu Ruyan, Lu Yanran, Han Jiaran, and the super invincible long-legged Mo Ran were waiting on the side. Shang Guan Shishi, the saint of Yaokai, stood opposite Qin Changshen with Holy Master Fi'u. Shang Guan Shishi looked proud, as if he was asking for credit. Fi'u Holy Master Xiaofi Fei lowered her perfect swan neck and stood there timidly, waiting for Qin Changshen's announcement. Now, the feeling in her heart is hard to understand, as complicated as it is. As the sect master of Fi'u Holy Land and a monk of the second level of Yunhai realm, she never thought that one day she would be robbed. And he was robbing him from such a young guy. The cultivation level of Yunhai realm is at the second level, and he is proficient in the art of controlling beasts. Not bad. From now on, just follow me. But remember one thing, practice well and be obedient. Qin Changshen waved his hand. Fi'u Holy Master Xiaofi Fei was speechless in her heart. He is also a famous genius holy master in this area. He has reached the second level of Yunhai realm after practicing for only 100 years. Being here with you is just not bad. But what can she say? And later, when she learned from Lu Ruyan and others about Qin Changshen's age, cultivation, bloodline, and constitution, as well as after all the deeds along the way, the proud white swan finally understood why his cultivation qualifications were only considered good by others. Compared with this 19-year-old monster, it's not bad, people are promoting themselves. It's, young master. Fi'u Holy Master Xiaofi Fei agreed softly, which was regarded as acknowledging the fact that she wanted to be a little maid. She accepted her fate very quickly. Look at the women around Qin Changshen. They are all beautiful and fragrant. Guo Qingcheng has very good looks and qualifications, but they are just little maids. There is also the Yaokai Saint Shang Guan Shishi. These can be said to be the top group of the younger generation in the Eastern Barren continent. Even others we've already compromised, what else can we say? Young master, weren't you always only interested in saints before? Why, how come even Holy Lord Fi'u was robbed today? Needless to say, this bad guy must be looking at how beautiful Sister Xiaofi Fei, Fi'u Holy Master, is. Lu Ruyan and Lu Yanran were confused just now, but now they couldn't help but ask. I have to thank Shishi for this. After she robbed the Holy Land for me and robbed the saint, she opened the door to a brand new world for me. From now on, I plan to build a team that specializes in plundering saints and looting holy places. In this way, wouldn't I be able to drink tea, play the piano, and enjoy the results? Qin Changshen explained with a smile. When the girls heard this, they were dumbfounded. Is this okay? Especially Shangguan Shishi, she didn't expect that her impulsive behavior would actually cause such a thing. The previous one, the bad guy, is already crazy enough. From now on, not only will he attack the saint, but he will also not let go of the sect master. Wouldn't he be even crazier? This means that he will destroy the entire eastern wilderness continent. What a rhythm! One day later. Starry Sky Demon Sect. The Starry Sky Demon section claims to be invincible under the starry sky. Wherever the disciples pass by, the starry sky will be stained with blood, right? The cycle of cause and effect leads to unhappy retribution. On the orders of my young master Qin Chang Sheng, come to rob. This girl will let you know what is the real blood-stained starry sky. Shangguan Shishi's voice sounded at the mountain gate of the Starry Sky Demon Sect. Then, two figures rushed directly to the mountain gate of the Starry Sky Demon Sect. One of them is Shangguan Shishi, the saint of Yaokai. And the other one is naturally Fiyu Holy Master Sci-fi. This girl had just become a maid and wanted to express herself. Moreover, this person from the Starry Sky Demon Sect was unreasonable and had massacred many of her disciples in the Fiyu Holy Land. She just took this opportunity to take revenge. In less than a stick of incense, the door of the Starry Sky Demon Sect opened wide. The two graceful figures of Shangguan Shishi and Xiaofei appeared respectfully in front of Qin Chang Sheng. Behind them is the Starry Sky Demon Sect, which has been reduced to ruins. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 230. Fortunately, we have lived up to our fate. The Starry Sky Demon Sect has been captured by our two sisters. Please accept it, Master. The voices of Yaokai Saint Shangguan Shishi and Fiyu Saint Master Xiaofei sounded in the Starry Sky Demon Sect, and became the last sound in the Starry Sky Demon Sect. From now on, there will be no more Starry Sky Demon Sect in the world. One day later. Hyun Holy Land. On the orders of my young master Qin Chang Sheng, I came here to rob you. Fortunately, we have fulfilled our mission, and the Holy Land of Hyun has been captured by our sisters. 2 days later. Listen, the people of Tianyin Holy Land have come to rob me on the orders of my young master, Qin Chang Sheng. Take your heavenly materials and earthly treasures, spiritual stones and elixirs. Huh? Are you Lin Miaoan, the Holy Lord of Tianyin Holy Land? She is so beautiful, and she is at the 3rd level of Yunhai realm. She also practices musical attack. Our son will definitely like it. Yes, yes, in addition to your various heavenly materials and earthly treasures, we also snatched your Holy Lord Tianyin. From now on, you, like our sisters, are also the young master's maid. Young master, after the robbery of Tianyin Holy Land is over, we have found you a little maid who can play the flute. 3 days later. Yunshui Demon Sect is destroyed. Golden Shadow Holy Land is destroyed. 4 days later. Yangzin Holy Land is captured, and the great elder of Yangzin Holy Land, Wenzin is robbed and becomes Qin Changshen's little maid. Qin Changsheng, the plundering team, grew into 4 king-level warriors in the Yunhai realm, and each one was a stunning beauty. 5 days later, the Blue Moon Demon Sect was destroyed. A complete spiritual vein was harvested. The Holy Land of Xinyi, destroyed. Sea Wing Demon Sect, destroyed. Qingfeng Demon Sect, destroyed. At this point, on Qin Changshen's route to Feiyang Royal City, all the sect's holy places marked by Yaokai Saint Shangguan Shishi were captured. Qin Changsheng in the Linglong Immortal Mansion, apart from the core small courtyard, there are piles of heavenly materials and earthly treasures almost everywhere. There are several spiritual veins alone, making the spiritual springs and small lakes of spiritual liquid much bigger than before. Therefore, Gu Xiangxiang and a dozen other saints who were practicing in seclusion in the small lake of spiritual fluid were alarmed. Then after learning about Qin Changshen's recent movements, the expressions of these girls were more exciting than the last. They all followed Qin Changsheng step by step from the gilded domain. They knew deeply how low Qin Changshen's starting point was. When they first came to the eastern wilderness continent, they were very worried that Qin Changshen would be there. This eastern wilderness continent with so many powerful people will not be able to stand. And what worries them the most is the Yuntian Holy Land, which belongs to the gilded domain. After all, there are king-level powerful people stationed there. But after practicing for a few days when they came out, they suddenly learned that, the Yuntian Holy Land, which they were extremely afraid of, had been destroyed by Qin Changsheng. And then, several sect holy lands that were more powerful than the Yuntian Holy Land could not escape them. The palms of the young master's hands, including those of the sect leader, were snatched away. They were completely stunned. One by one, they surrounded Qin Changsheng, eager to study Qin Changsheng inside and out to see this monster. How on earth is it composed? Even the legendary, most defiant, proud man of heaven cannot advance in cultivation so quickly. And this guy has not only advanced in cultivation. Inexplicably, he has become king-level alchemy master, king-level formation Taoist master. And even more confused than them were the beautiful sect masters and holy masters who were later robbed. They originally thought that Qin Changsheng must be so powerful because of his different status. Generally speaking, and the training time should not be short. Suddenly I learned that, the guy I called young master was actually only 19 years old. And not long ago, it was still a deserted place, in the eastern region, an ordinary disciple who is disgusted by even a small fake holy land. That's right. Although Qingyun Holy Land is in the gilded domain and is called a holy land. But in their eyes, this is simply a fake holy land. Even ordinary disciples in the eastern wasteland continent, no other sect can compare with it. Who dares to believe that the ordinary disciples who even despised the fake holy land, have now become their young masters and masters? Ding ding, dong dong. In the flying palace, Qin Changsheng was playing the piano with a contented look on his face. Xiaomi Lier was beside Qin Changsheng, still eating the best spiritual stones. And on both sides of Qin Changsheng, Xia Fei, the Fiyu Holy Master, was dazzling in her Qian Yuxia clothes, with Taoist charm flowing around her body, but in her hands, she respectfully held a plate of spiritual fruits to Qin Changsheng. Wen Xinyu, the stunning beauty of the Holy Land of Nourishing Heart, an elegant and bookish woman, was carefully brewing spiritual tea for Qin Changsheng. Lin Miaoyan, the Holy Lord of Tianyin Holy Land, lowered her beautiful eyes, holding a jade flute in her hand, intertwined with Qin Changsheng's music. The Yaokai Saint Chang Guan Shishi was holding a beast from the eastern wasteland. Pai Tu was looking at whether there were any other sects and holy places around the Yunhai realm king level. That's right, their current standard for robbery is that the minimum requirement is for sects and holy places that must have the Yunhai realm king level. Otherwise, no one would bother to rob. As for Lu Ruyan, Mo Ran, Lu Yan Ran, Han Ji Aran and other girls, they also entered Linglong Immortal Mansion and practiced in seclusion. Time after time, they all watched the Yaokai Saint and the others rushing to rob. It was nothing at first, but later on, they were all itchy. Because the excitement that Yaokai Saint and others had before each robbery really made them envious. And after every robbery, when several people stood in front of Qin Changsheng and reported the results of the victory, they looked so proud that they wanted to experience it again. However, I'm not strong enough, I'm not strong enough. Therefore, they all wanted to quickly break through to the Yunhai realm king level, and join Qin Changshen's robbery team like Shang Guan Shishi and others. Of course, Qin Changsheng was very happy about this. And this arrangement is exactly what he wants. Those saints are practicing to gain experience for him. And these little maids of the sect master can't gain experience, so they just come to help him rob the Holy Land, collect the loot, and provide the best resources for the practicing saints. Although he has not plundered another saint girl. But in the past few days, Qin Changshen's experience from those diligent girls has also improved him by one heaven, reaching the fourth heaven level of Yunhai realm. The next step is Fei Yang Guangchenj. There are a large number of saintess experience packs gathered there. Qin Changshen is very much looking forward to what kind of state he will reach after eating those experience packs. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 231. Young Master, are we really going to Fei Yang Royal City like this? Yes, young Master, Fei Yang King City is the territory of Fei Yang Martial King Ye Fei Yang. He is a peerless powerhouse in the 9th level of Yunhai realm. On the Flying Palace, Fei Yu Holy Master Xia Fi Fei and Tianyan Holy Master Lin Miaoan asked. When Xinyu, the stunning beauty of the cultivation Holy Land, the great elder, although she didn't say anything, her expressions were also a little worried. He is confused. There is no way, Qin Changshen just plays the piano and drinks tea every day, and has never practiced anything. This makes them, the new little maids, inevitably a little worried. No, Qin Changshen these days, they didn't even take action. All the robberies were led by Yaokai Saint. Although Yaokai Saint Shangguan Shishi's qualifications, cultivation, and combat prowess convinced them. But after all, Shangguan Shishi the cultivation of poetry is only at the 5th level of Yunhai realm. And Fei Yang Wangcheng, there are probably dozens or hundreds of strong men above the 5th level of Yunhai realm. That's right, the strength of Fei Yang Wangcheng, it is so powerful, so terrifying. It is better to say that it is a royal city, a super terrifying power, there are countless king-level powerful people in it, and they will all gather here. And the most terrifying thing, that is the city lord of Fei Yang Royal City, Ye Fei Yang. A strong man from the 9th level of Yunhai realm, he is the well-deserved king in this area. Yes, sir, do you think we should go in another direction? Then the young master will refine some king-level elixirs, everyone will be improved, and then go to Fei Yang King City. Yaokai Saint Shangguan Shishi also spoke at the side. Of course she knew deeply that Qin Changshen's potential was great, and his future achievements would definitely be higher than Fei Yang Wu King Ye Fei Yang. However, that is just potential and future. Comparison now speaking, Fei Yang Martial King, who has been practicing for thousands of years, is definitely a transcendent overlord who is insurmountable by Qin Changshen. If it were anyone else, Shangguan Shishi could still believe that after entering Fei Yang King City, he could develop quietly. But his own family, the young master, his character should not be too flamboyant, he is too arrogant. After entering Fei Yang King City, honestly, no need to think about it, wherever this guy goes, there will be blood everywhere. Yunhai Realm 9th Heaven. None of this is important, I just want to know, is there any saint princess or something in this Fei Yang Royal City? Qin Changsheng said calmly. When the girls heard this, they looked at me and I looked at you. They were speechless. Even the 9th level of Yunhai Realm is not important? Brother, do you know that Yun how strong is the 9th level of the Sea Realm? 9th level Martial King, not to mention the eastern region of the Eastern Barren Continent, is the leading powerhouse in the entire Eastern Barren Continent, okay. Further up, there is the Star Tibetan Realm, there are Emperor-level powerhouses, do you know this? There are only so many Emperor-level powerhouses in the entire Eastern Wilderness Continent, and only a few super holy land sects such as the Saint of Yaokai can have them, okay. In addition, your old man's two major hobbies are indeed worthy of their names. At this time, the question you are most concerned about is whether there is a saint princess in Fei Yang Royal City? Meaning, if there is, you are also ready to snatch it away Wait a minute. You old man will never plan to loot Fei Yang Wang Cheng. Suddenly, such a crazy idea flashed in everyone's mind. Then the more he thought about it, the more he thought, I think it's possible. My young master can definitely do such a thing with his own tricks. Suddenly, the girls became even more confused. And the expression of Shangguan Shishi, the saint of Yaokai, became extremely complicated. There is a saint, and it is said that the saint in Fei Yang Royal City is a strange woman with a transcendent temperament and extraordinary talents. It is said that he is only in his 20s and has already reached the perfection of the Unity realm. He is only one step away from breaking through the Yunhai realm, and there is a possibility of a breakthrough at any time. Fiyu Holy Master Xiaofi Fei replied cautiously. That's the best thing to do, let's set off, Fei Yang Wang Cheng. Qin Changshen was very happy when he heard this, and waved his hand and ordered. Everyone smiled bitterly. It's over, it's over. Looking at this guy's excited expression, I am afraid that the speculations of himself and others are about to come true. This guy, really they want to attack Fei Yang King City. But what can they do? As little maids, they don't dare to stop them even if they want to, and they can't stop them even if they even open their mouths. The flying palace flew at the fastest speed for another day and night. A huge city built on tens of thousands of high mountains appeared in front of Qin Changsheng and others. Below the city, I saw mountains with a height of 10,000 feet, piled up neatly, supporting the huge city above the head, towering in the clouds. According to rumors, this Fei Yang King city is an ancient city. Era, built by a mighty one. As he waved his hand, he picked up the stars and the moon, tearing apart time and space. The surrounding mountains that are millions of miles high have all gathered here, and then on the mountains, this Fei Yang King city was built with all kinds of extraordinary stones. In Fei Yang King city, there is no mountain protecting formation, nor are there any blessings from various Taoist patterns. But, the strength of Fei Yang Royal City is terrifying. Although Fei Yang King City has changed owners many times now, it is getting farther and farther away from the cultivation level of its original owner. Including the current city lord of Fei Yang Royal City, Ye Fei Yang, a peerless powerhouse in the 9th level of Yunhai realm. It is said that even now they are unable to shake this royal city in the slightest. This shows how powerful that heaven-defying powerhouse was in ancient times. As for ordinary Yunhai realm kings, it goes without saying, it is very difficult to leave even a trace on the walls of Fei Yang Royal City. Not long after flying again, Qin Changshen took the Yaokai Saint and Xiaomi Lier and flew out of the flying palace, and then put the flying palace away. As for Holy Master Feiyu, Holy Master Tianyan and others, they were sent to Linglong Immortal Mansion by Qin Changshen first. After all, I'm new here, so I can't be too showy. Qin Changshen must first try his best to eat all the Saintess experience packs gathered here. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 232. Even though Qin Changshen has tried hard to keep a low profile, the saint of Yaokai also put on a veil to block her Taoist aura, and Xiaomi Lier also stopped eating the best spiritual stones. But when they arrived at Fei Yang King City, they still attracted a lot of attention. Is this another one? Why is this one carrying a woman and a child? Are you kidding me? Probably not. However, in the marriage notice of Fei Yang Saint, there was no indication that she was not allowed to get married and have children. It just said that the Taoist couple must be under 50 years old and above the Unity realm. That's too ridiculous. Could it be possible that the majestic Saintess, the proud daughter of heaven who is in the perfect state of unity, still wants to be someone else's concubine? Unless this man is willing to destroy his current wife. You are overthinking. Although this man looks very young and has a flying palace, he has a wife and children so early. He should not be the holy son of some sex-holy land, nor is he the queen of our royal family in Fei Yang Royal City. You're not here to participate in discussions to find a bride, are you? Right. A group of people whispered when they saw Qin Changsheng and the others. Qin Changsheng was stunned when he heard this. Talking about marriage? And she's the flying saint? I seem to have caught up again, what a fun thing. No wonder so many saints and saints gathered in Fei Yang King City. Everyone, what are you talking about the truth and getting married? Qin Changsheng walked up to him with a smile and asked. You see. I knew this guy wasn't here to participate in a discussion about marriage, he didn't even know. Brother, recently the flying saint Yi Zhiazu discussed such a big thing as seeking a bride, but you didn't know about it. It is said that Yi Zhiazu, the flying saint, has reached a bottleneck in her cultivation, and she really wants to break through to the Yunhai realm king level, so she plans to talk about the Tao and find a suitable Taoist partner to study the Tao with her. All the royal princes in Fei Yang Royal City are excited. After all, the flying saint Yi Zhiazu looks like a fairy, and her physique and bloodline are extremely strong. She has long been the dream goddess of the younger generation in Fei Yang Wangcheng. That's right, many of the saints from the major holy places come to join in the fun. Of course, many saints from the sects of the smaller holy places can only join in the fun and have no chance at all. A group of people explained to Qin Changsheng one by one. At this time, they had completely regarded Qin Changsheng as a passerby like them. Although Qin Changsheng's age should be up to standard, but even this matter I don't know, obviously I don't have much identity and background, and I don't need to think about my cultivation level. Oh. So this is Thank you and farewell. Qin Changsheng said with cupped hands. Naturally, he saw the expressions of those people, but he didn't explain anything. Talking about morality to get a bride? That's nice to say, isn't it just a martial arts competition to get a bride? Of course, I want to participate, but, what I want is not a Taoist companion, but a little maid. With this in mind, Qin Changsheng joined hands with Shang Guanshishi and directly entered the interior of Fei Yang King City. When looking from the outside, there is nothing, just a huge shapeless city. As soon as they entered, Qin Changsheng and Shang Guanshishi looked at each other involuntarily. Because they all felt an inexplicable pressure coming from all directions. The city walls, ground, and many simple buildings of Fei Yang Royal City are made of unknown materials, but they have an inexplicable suppressive power on the power of the avenue. In the outside world, the barrier of the king's domain can be easily held up, here, it seems to be suppressed and cannot be held up. However, Qin Changsheng did not forcefully test whether he could open up the king's domain if he exerted himself with all his strength. If it really opens, I'm afraid it will immediately cause a sensation, and it will be impossible to keep a low profile. The first thing to do now is to look for the experience packs in Fei Yang King City and eat a few first. Young master, have you already begun to plan in your mind the matter of the flying saint Yi Zhiazu discussing marriage? The saint of Yaokai asked quietly in Qin Changsheng's ear. Where is it, I'm just curious. Qin Changsheng chuckled and said without comment. Tisk, I don't know you yet, I can't walk as soon as I hear about the saint. I don't know why you love robbing the saint so much. But I have to remind you that the master of Fei Yang Saint is Fei Yang Martial King, a strong man from the 9th level of Yunhai realm. It's not impossible for you to steal her apprentice saint, but you must think carefully. It's difficult to be sneaky, after all, Fei Yang Saint lives in Fei Yang Palace, where there are many king-level powerful people, and Fei Yang is in charge personally. Just and above board, you can pretend to be participating in a discussion about marriage, and then take advantage of the opportunity to take action. But after robbing you, I don't know how you will escape, unless you are not ready to escape, just accept it calmly and become the prince consort of Fei Yang City. My identity, haha. The saint of Yaokai, Shang Guanshishi, whispered again. Qin Changsheng was speechless. This girl is really his little assistant in robbery. Before he even thought about anything, this girl started to make suggestions for him. Qin Changsheng, I have always liked to be straightforward and have no intention of calculating in advance. It's not bad to have such a little assistant in robbery. By the way, young master, you need to pay attention to this. There might be something fishy here. As far as I know, the Fei Yang Saint Yi Zaizu is the most beloved disciple of King Fei Yang Wu. Originally, Fei Yang King City did not need the position of the saint son and saint, but in order to show Yi Zaizu's only favorite, King Fei Yang Wu specially set up the position of saint girl for Yi Zaizu a few years ago. Such a doting female disciple can actually talk about Taoism and seek marriage. And they still talk about marriage in such a big way. I really can't figure out why. With the qualifications of the flying saint Yi Zaizu, it is only a matter of time to break through the Yunhai realm. Is there really a need to rush? Shang Guan Shishi spoke again. Qin Changsheng pondered for a moment when he heard the words. He also felt something was wrong just now, but he didn't think much about it. Now that he was reminded by the Yaokai saint, he felt something was wrong even more. Here, I'm afraid there is really a problem. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 233. Piaoxiang Pavilion. There is a famous restaurant in Fei Yang King City. After monks reach a certain level, they can actually give up ordinary food, so restaurants are very rare in this world. But every restaurant that can survive must be very unique. For example, Piaoxiang Pavilion specializes in cooking with various rare treasures. All kinds of spiritual flowers, spiritual grasses, and spiritual beasts are their raw materials. The drinks sold are all spiritual wine brewed from spiritual fruits. For monks, he said that it would be of great benefit to have a meal here. Of course, I don't know if the cooking method is simple or not for such high-end ingredients, but the price is indeed very expensive. Just a random meal. It could be tens of thousands of spiritual stones, and ordinary monks wouldn't be willing to consume them at all. But for Qin Changsheng, he couldn't count how many spirit stones he had, so naturally he wouldn't care. I just happened to stop at this place, have something to eat, and inquire about the current situation in Fei Yang Guang City. After entering Piaoxiang Pavilion, several delicate-looking maids in skirts came to greet them. Qin Changsheng directly asked for the largest private room on the second floor, and then ordered all the delicacies in the store, and also recruited Sci-fi, Wen Xinyu and other girls. Not long after, various dishes were served one after another. Qin Changsheng waved his hand and directly called for the girls to start eating. But, oops, this 8 precious spirit beast eggs are so delicious. Young master, give it a try. Young master, this snack is also very unique. Come and open your mouth. Sir, let me pour you a drink. His Piaoxiang Lingju is different from what we have drunk before. It really tastes unique. Qin Changsheng hadn't moved his chopsticks very much, but his mouth was filled with things brought by several little maids. Wait a minute, what's going on with you? Qin Changsheng was ashamed. Although he was used to such treatment. However, Xiaofi Fei and the others were all king-level experts in the Yunhai realm, and they were the sect masters, holy masters, and great elders before, so they were no different from him. Oh my God! Why are they suddenly so enthusiastic and unrestrained? What's going on? Sir, isn't this stated in your little maid's must-read manual? But whenever we are here, if we can prevent the young master from taking action, we will not let the young master take action. If we can prevent the young master from speaking, we will not let the young master speak. That's right, master, According to the manual, when you eat something delicious, you have to think of master first. Several girls said happily. A must-read manual for little maids. Qin Changsheng was even more stunned, and then he asked a few more questions before he found out. It turned out that before the last retreat, concubine Murong was so playful that she secretly made such a thing. These girls had just watched in Linglong Immortal Mansion. Arrive, and then follow the instructions above. This makes Qin Changsheng very speechless. This weird little witch will not stop even if she goes into seclusion. She is trying to train herself, in the direction of a loser and a playboy. But, I like it. It feels quite fulfilling to have so many sect masters, holy masters, and great elders around me to feed them in various ways. Besides, there are so many little maids around, if you don't enjoy it, wouldn't it be a waste of natural resources? Just like this, Qin Changsheng completely freed his hands and allowed Sci-fi and the others to feed them all kinds of delicacies, spiritual fruits, and spiritual wines in one bite. In the meantime, in the entire elegant room, the singing of warblers and the sound of laughter continued. But, just when Qin Changsheng was enjoying himself, bang! The door to the private room was suddenly kicked open. Then, an imposing young man wearing a purple satin robe walked in with a sinister look on his face. Behind him, there were several young men and women, as well as several obedient maids in fragrant pavilions and skirts. Is it him, who occupied my private room? The young man in purple robe came in, took a look at Qin Changsheng, and said angrily, "Mr. Wang, we really didn't know that Mr. Wang was going to entertain guests today, so, we gave the largest private room to him. Mr. Wang, you, look at the private room next door to us. Although it is a little smaller, it can accommodate more than a dozen people. How about we go next door?" A maid in a skirt from Piaoxiang Pavilion lowered her head and explained in a low voice. "Next door. Wang Xianjiao, will definitely treat me to the first private room of Piaoxiang Pavilion. You want me to go next door?" With a cold snort, Wang Xianjiao slapped. Click. The head of that maid in a skirt was turned into a pulp by him. Several other maids in skirts fell to their knees one by one, remaining silent, but they did not dare to speak any more. Including the dozen or so people behind Wang Xianjiao, all of them turned pale with fright. Unexpectedly, Wang Xianjiao would actually kill someone directly. Seeing this scene, Qin Changsheng's expression instantly turned cold. Although he had almost eaten here, but such an unappetizing guy suddenly appeared and made such a disgusting scene, he couldn't calm down for an instant. As for the young man named Wang Xianjiao, after killing the maid in a skirt, he wiped his hands on the maid's body as if nothing happened, and then walked towards Qin Changsheng with a smile. "Brother, life is good, so nourishing, there are so many beautiful and fragrant little maids around me, who are of a higher standard than those in my house. Tisk tisk." As he spoke, Wang Xianjiao looked at Xiaofi Fei and the other girls, especially his eyes on Shang Guan Shishi, the saint of Yaokai, who stayed for a long time. After all, the temperament and charm of Shang Guan Shishi are so amazing. He thinks he has seen countless women, he has never seen such a top-notch woman. Let me see it this way. You leave these little maids to me and leave, I won't hold you accountable for occupying my place. Wang Xianjiao said with a smile again, and then his eyes were unscrupulously focused on the Yaokai saint, Shang Guan Shishi. Fantasy, I robbed millions of saints. Author, The Dream of a Million Saints. Chapter 234. You leave these little maids to me and leave, I won't hold you accountable for occupying my place. Hearing the words of the purple-robed young man Wang Xianjiao, Qin Changsheng burst into laughter and couldn't help laughing. Qin Changsheng has always been synonymous with arrogance in the eyes of others. For the first time, he finally saw someone so arrogant in front of him. I wanted to keep a low profile and ask about the situation first. But it seems that the situation does not allow it. However, Qin Changsheng has not done anything yet. Shangguan Shishi, the saint of Yaokai, has already been looked at by Wang Xianjiao. She felt uncomfortable all over. Then, Shangguan Shishi's eyes turned cold for an instant, her red lips moved slightly and she said, "Young master, I want to kill someone." Qin Changsheng almost couldn't help but laugh when he heard Shangguan Shishi's words. Just before entering Feiyang King City, Shangguan Shishi was still trying to persuade himself to be more low-key and tolerant. What had he not done yet? She couldn't bear it anymore. Kill. Haha, this beauty said she wanted to kill someone? Haha, the person she wants to kill should be me. Fun. After Wang Xianjiao heard Shangguan Shishi's words, he laughed wildly. The people behind him also laughed. Little girl, I'm afraid you don't know who Prince Wang Xianjiao is. That is, does the Wang family, one of the four major families in Feiyang Royal City, know? Prince Wang is the eldest son of the Wang family, and his grandfather, the head of the Wang family, is one of the four 8th-grade martial kings in Feiyang Royal City. That is, not to mention the old man of the Wang family, the prince himself is now a king-level powerhouse in the first level of Yunhai realm. You still want to kill someone? Killing me? This guy doesn't know Feiyang King City and is sitting in Piaoxiang Pavilion. He should be a newcomer who just came in from the East Gate. Logically speaking, he should have come from the Fenchen Ridge in the East Wasteland. Spirit Crystal Saint Son, Spirit Crystal Saint Lady, you are all from the East, do you know this kid? A group of people laughed and speculated on the identities of Qin Changsheng and others, then they looked at another man and a woman and asked. After hearing the conversation between these people, Qin Changsheng also looked at the man and woman, who Wang Xianjiao was hosting. Among a few people, there is actually a saint and a saint from the spiritual realm Holy Land. Isn't this a holy land that I have snatched? And its strength can still be ranked in the top 3 among the holy places along the way. But this holy land, now it no longer exists. The person who destroyed it was none other than the Yaokai saint Shangguan Shishi. Just as he was thinking, the man among the man and the woman had already glanced at Qin Changsheng, shook his head and spoke. I don't know some dude who ran away from a small family. You can ask later, if they were within the scope of my spiritual crystal holy land, their family would disappear very quickly. Even if it is not within the scope of my spiritual realm holy land, I, the spiritual crystal holy land, will be happy to help Prince Wang solve any future troubles. The man who was called the Holy Son of the Spiritual Crystal said with confidence. As for the Holy Lady of the Spiritual Crystal, she didn't speak from the beginning to the end. However, her attributes have already appeared in Qin Changsheng's mind. In his mind. Name, Zhou Xiaoun. Physique, innate Lingyuan hegemon body, mutated. Bloodline, just the bloodline of Lingyuan bird. Realm, Unity Realm, 5th Heaven. Combat skills, 5th grade Xian level combat skills, Lingyuan Zhenfa, perfection. 6th grade Xian level combat skills, Feng Xiu sword tai, perfection. 7th grade Xian level combat skills, Spirit Cloud 10,000 miles crossing, peak. Not to mention other aspects. Dan is the spiritual crystal saint, united in one. Qin Changsheng is quite satisfied with his cultivation in the 5th heaven realm. After 10 times the gain feedback, he should be able to advance to the 1st heaven realm. Boy, do you hear that? You're going to be out of luck, haha. You deserve it, coming from the east. It doesn't matter if you don't know Mr. Wang, but you don't know the Holy Son of Spiritual Crystal either? Really looking for death? After killing this boy, Prince Wang will enjoy a blessing. This guy's maids are all first-class beauties. A group of people shouted again. Looking at Qin Changsheng, they saw a dead man. It's strange that this guy is so unlucky. not a good place to eat. He insists on coming to Piaoxiang Pavilion, and he also occupies the place that Prince Wang likes. The first seat. Of course, the most important thing is, this guy's little maids are really too beautiful. If it weren't for these stunning little maids, the prince would probably not bother to trouble him and just drive him away. Spirit Crystal Son? Not interested in getting to know each other. But the spiritual crystal saint, I quite like her. You will also be my little maid from now on. Qin Changsheng chuckled and said to the spiritual crystal saint. Hearing this, the spiritual crystal saint's pretty face was blank. I don't know what nonsense this guy said. Wang Xianjiao and others were also stunned for a moment. Then the whole crowd burst into laughter again. Haha, what did this guy say? He still wants the spiritual crystal saint to be his little maid. It made me laugh. I thought this guy was a hapless guy, but he turned out to be a fool. Play, women are playing with their brains. Do you even dare to take on the idea of the spiritual crystal saint? And amidst the roar of laughter, Qin Changshen's faint voice sounded again. Shishi, if you want to do it, do it. Stop holding it in. It's just that Qin Changshen's voice seemed very slight amidst the laughter of those people. They didn't seem to hear it, or they seemed to have heard it, and didn't take it seriously at all. But, Shangguan Shishi heard it after that. A pair of beautiful eyes suddenly lit up. Come on, sir. Shangguan Shishi agreed in a crisp voice, and the real energy around Shangguan Shishi began to stir. In an instant, strands of power of the Great Avenue circulated crazily throughout the entire private room. The power of the avenue, in Fei Yangqing City, can such power of the avenue be displayed? This little girl turned out to be a king-level expert in the Yunhai realm. It's not just Yunhai realm, it's something that even the early Yunhai realm can't do. This is the middle stage of Yunhai realm. How is it possible? Isn't she a little maid? How could he be a Yunhai realm expert? Those people were stunned when they saw the power of the great Dao around Shangguan Shishi, and then their expressions froze on their faces one by one, with horror and disbelief in their eyes. But, it was too late. A huge Dao Yun palm print had condensed directly from their heads and fell suddenly.